This is the Average to Savage podcast with Paul Guarino. Everyone and anyone, athletes, celebs, and much more.
Yeah. Average to Savage podcast used to be normal, but I'm trying to transform, so I had to break it out a badass rap song. A lot of opportunities we had to pass on. Raw entrepreneur, what they telling me? We got interviews with artists and celebrities, going in depth, cause the shallow interviews never been lit. Download on Apple, Spotify with the interest. Please don't challenge me. Inspire people every day with personality and how we make it pop off. We be fresh, a lot of ops in the game. You could be next. Stay focused right now and bump it on the drive with a morning coffee on the train. Running, we alive. Average to Savage podcast, do the damn thing. And Paul Guarino, we bring it in. And now we got all your listening, so take it from the top.
What's up, everybody? I'm back for another episode of the Average Savage podcast. Our special guest today is Ben Baller. Ben, how's it going?
What's up, man? How you doing, bro?
I'm doing good. Congrats on the Seahawks win tonight.
Yeah, man, it was a good win. I mean, it's fucking
easy win.
Honestly, we were doing some bullshit, and it was like I honestly don't think we really went and played very hard. We were doing some weird plays and some experimentation. They're just a really awful team, man. It's pretty bad, you know.
Yeah. It's just always funny to hear you go off on your podcast about the Seahawks.
I mean, I feel, dude, you gotta remember, man, Philly. I mean, these guys were in the fucking Super Bowl just a few years ago and won it, you know what I'm saying? They have the most vicious fans in the world. They just suck this year, bro. They just fucking trash. Yeah,
for sure. All right, let's go back to your sports career. How'd you just get started playing like football and basketball?
You know what, man? Basketball is something I was kind of playing at like 7, 8 years old. And I think about it now, it's so crazy. My son can't even fucking dribble a ball. It's just, and me and my wife would kind of have the conversation like, it ain't in the books for him, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just ain't. I think gaming is just going to be his thing. It just that's what it is. And it's different times, you know. I commend some of the parents out there that have taught their kids. And my parents never taught me anything. I mean, my dad tried to teach me how to ride a bike, but thank God I had an older brother. And even he didn't really put the basketball in my hands, but he got me into basketball. And, you know, I played and I was okay. You know, I played in school, played in junior high. I played for the team in junior high. I moved around a lot. That was the problem. So from 6th grade to 9th grade, I went to 6 schools, bro. So 6 schools, you know, it was a lot. And up till about maybe 8th grade, I was probably the best player. Except I never went to a camp, you know, and if I gone to a camp, you know, or gone to certain things, you know, now it's on a whole different level. I mean, bro, you can get an ankle sprain and not be, back in the day, if you got an ankle sprain, you might be out 2-3 months. Like, you aren't even out for a week or two now. You can just get, technology is so crazy now, you know, with just the way things are. So I remember right around 13 or 14, I think I was in 8th grade, I started to learn some fundamentals defensively. I fucked around with them. They're football on the street. You know, I grew up in Koreatown, bro. It was like really not parks and shit. But, you know, I grew up watching football, loving football. I didn't really start fucking with football until like, again, you know, really late, high school. So basketball was something that I always felt like, you know, was my shit. Back in the day, there was a thing called Slam and Jam. Slam and Jam was, I know AAU is prominent now. I don't know how old you are, but AAU has been around for a while. But Slam and Jam was like another league that was dope. And I had a mentor, this guy named Derek. Fuck, man. I just thought the other day, I was like, man, you know what? There's some people that used to work for me that I talked to every single day for 3 years. I don't remember their fucking name anymore. Derek fucking... Shit, man, I can't remember his fucking name. He was a really good fucking player too. It was crazy. I started playing at the YMCA, and we had a team there. We were playing, boom, and I just started getting better. Started learning defensive skills. My freshman year in high school, I played football, didn't make the basketball team my freshman year. That kind of broke my heart. It was down to me and another guy. And because the other guy was a good citizen, this is real shit. He had like a 3.8, 4.0 GPA. He's a good citizen. And he had, so like, that was kind of like the breaker. And I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. And again, you get to high school, you go through junior high, whatever, and you go to a big high school with 3,000 students. Obviously, it starts weeding out things. Then you go to college, then you go to the pros. You start seeing, oh shit, this motherfucker was the man in high school, college, boom. Then you get to the pros and shit. You just may not happen for you, even though you're a good player. Some things you don't gel with a certain offense, defense, some team, whatever, who knows, maybe not coachable. I started to realize that in high school. I said this on my podcast. I feel like every time I figured out what I was good at, it was already over. You know what I mean? It's only 4 years of high school.
Yeah.
It's only 4 years of college. Well, I redshirted, so I could have had more. But, like by the time I finished high school, I was like, fuck, if I just go back, do you know what I mean? One more year, I figured it out now. Does that make sense or no? I mean, my sophomore year in the middle of JV, there's freshman football, there's JV, and then there's varsity. I went freshman football, then I went to JV. In the middle of JV, I got brought up to varsity right before the playoffs. And I played offense, played defense a little bit, but I was scared to hit. I don't think I've ever talked about this before, ever. And then it took to finally playing with people who, I was like an average sized dude.
Mm-hmm.
It took for me finally didn't want it. I was like, nah, bro, I can't let this dude do this to me. And something snapped. I don't know if you've seen that movie, Me, Myself, and Irene. It's a Jim Carrey movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He has like a multiple personality disorder.
Yeah.
And something snaps in the head and you lose it. One day I got my shoulder popped out. I don't know if you ever played football before or no?
No. Baseball.
Okay. So in football, it's not common, but it happens. I mean, it's more, but you wear pads, obviously, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you get hit in the shoulder really, really hard, you can throw your shoulder in shock where you've never felt it. It's like, think about getting the wind knocked out of you, but imagine it's your shoulder. Like, I've never felt anything like that. I thought like, it was almost as if your shoulder's going to, like Thanos hit you and it's going to fall off. And at that point, I was like, yo, dude, there's girls out here watching you. You know what I mean? Like, you play in the field, and there's track and field. There's a lot going on in the field. Football's ours, but the track around it, there's a lot going on. So I was like, hey, man, I got to snap out of it. And at that point, I just turned into a different person. So my junior year, 1,100 yards, 12 touchdowns, the whole nine. Started playing basketball. I love playing basketball. And I was decent. I just wasn't good enough. Football, I feel like I wasn't even as good as football as I was in basketball, but I knew how to cheat the system. I could see, I knew exactly, how to run plays, and then I just knew how to, it was a different type of game. I applied to a bunch of schools just to see if I could walk on. And obviously USC, UCLA, Loyola Marymount. At the time, I was a big Hank Gathers fan, rest in peace. He was probably, maybe, I don't know if you know about basketball, but he's probably one of the greatest basketball players ever. Like, he would have been, no bullshit, dude, he would have been, I think, him and Len Bias would have been, probably some of the greatest players ever in the history of basketball, ever. But, died of a heart attack. LMU was a small school. They didn't have a football team, so that was kind of going to be a problem. And I was a very poor academic student. So, with a bunch of help, I couldn't even get a UCLA. I was willing to walk on, and my dad was a fucking professor there. He ran the Asian study department. We had not just that, we had a dean of one of the colleges write me a recommendation that I couldn't even get into UCLA. It's really embarrassing. It's pretty embarrassing. You can't get, and again, back then, if you had money, it'd be a different story. But my dad made $35,000 a year, which is, equivalent to maybe like 80 or 90 grand now. And 80 or 90 grand sounds like a lot of money, but if you have 3 kids or anything else, it's really not. You can't even live, anywhere. It's like that weird lower middle, or like that weird middle class thing where like you can't really, and then people in the hood would be like, well, we don't make any money. It's not, it's a different thing. We weren't rich at all. So, I got a scholarship at Cal last minute. And the funny thing was, all my stats were good. Everything was great. My senior year, I transferred. And I think I said that on my podcast. If you pay attention, I transferred. And I barely got to play. And I had to go to a different school. But I played enough to where, I was able to do my thing. And it was cool because I was in the Bay Area as well. Mm-hmm. But then when I got to college, I said all the wrong things to all the people on the team. Like I would be like, I thought I was trying to be too cool. Like, oh yeah, man, with Beverly, I know this person. And I just think people are just like, man, shut the fuck up, China, man. I was really out, like just not, even though I was cool in my school, this was a whole different thing. And nobody from school was there, and I was like I was literally solo dolo. So, I got bullied. Mm-hmm. And they took my cleats. They took, played AstroTurf. So if you know what AstroTurf is like, you'd wear like soccer shoes almost, you know what I mean? Not cleats, but like
turfs.
Even a lot of players wore Jordans. Yeah. So I had no shoes. I only had my cleats. And 118 guys, somewhere around there, 108 guys in 2-a-days in Hell Week in camp. And the first day, like 30 people quit. And I wasn't one of them. So I felt like, hey, man, I'll make it in camp, boom. And I remember we had a freshman meeting and the coach sat down with all the freshmen. We had like dinner, it was like 11 of us. And he's like, hey, man, you're out here doing, you're doing your thing. Michael David, hey, man, you're doing great. You're doing it. And he's like, Yang, I got to be honest, man, you're dogging it. I couldn't fucking believe he said that in front of everyone. He goes, hey, man, I'm just going to let you know you're dogging it. Like you got to figure something out. You got to step up because you're not making it out here. And not only that, I wasn't a star. So I sure acted like one. That was the worst part. I acted like I was the shit, And I had the cleanest uniform, you know what I'm saying? Like I was just talking shit, whatever. And I couldn't cut it. I couldn't cut D1. I couldn't cut the level of intensity. I wasn't strong enough. And I was the strongest I ever had been at that point. I went through the entire summer training to lift weights and certain things. And then I realized, man, this ain't shit. But it was better than the average man, of course, but I can't be the average man. I'm playing football. And I remember I was really strong. But genetically, I was Asian, you know what I mean? So my bones were small. I'd have a big frame. I was 6 feet, like about 180. And again, average. And so I just, I ended up transferring schools, man. I said, let me get some playing time. Fuck this. And on top of that, Cal didn't have a film program. They didn't have any kind of film school at all. They had communication. So, it was just better for me to transfer to Division II. Went to SF State. It was a lot easier. I was playing. I was out there busting my ass, boom. And I was playing basketball too. I got to walk on the team. And that was where I really got to like, damn, man, I'm the first Asian American in the history of the university to play basketball and football. And we get to play against, 2 or 3 D1 schools a year in basketball. Guard Steve Nash 2 years in a row. Got to play football with some of the biggest. Larry Allen is, I think he's in the discussion to be either the best in the world or the second best. He's not top 3. He's top 2. He's either the best lineman in the history of football or he's the second best lineman ever in history of football. And this dude played for Sonoma State, and I had to play this guy. And I remember on a screen pass, I went straight through this motherfucker, and it felt like I hit a cement wall. In fact, I'd rather hit a cement wall than hit this dude again. So that was pretty much the gist of, all my playing days. And then I think I mentioned it briefly. I thought maybe I can try to play some ball in Beijing at the time, play pro, and it was for like 17 grand it was just really bad. I didn't even last a month, bro. I got really sick out there. I was like, fuck this, I'm coming home. And then that was it for sports. I was done.
That's crazy. Do you have any pictures of you playing basketball?
There's probably a picture somewhere. You know what? Last year in January, I promised to go back to the university. I have not gone back to SF State in almost 30 years.
Yeah.
26 years, right? I posted a picture of me walking off the court, and this is like actual film. There's no like, yeah. And I posted a picture of the scoreboard where it has, every time you walk in the gym, you see your name.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
And the coach's daughter, she commented. Picture's still up somewhere, and the coach's daughter commented. She's like, "Hey man, just so you know, I'm Coach Thomas's daughter, and we used to be behind the bench talk whatever." It's crazy because she's a grown woman. She's married to somebody on the Pittsburgh Steelers. I didn't really pay attention, but she messaged me. She goes, "Hey, my dad wants to talk to you." And the thing is, her dad treated me so much like shit. I don't really know if I'm ready to talk to him. You know what I mean? But like, obviously, I've become successful. He wants to say, I'm sure he wanted to say congrats. She was pretty genuine about it. But I want to go back to university because a lot of people thought I was lying, and then I think somebody worked at SF State and they pulled up records and said, "Hey, man, you average 1.2 points a game." And I was like, "Hey, man, 1.2 points a game ain't bad. 2 assists." I was like, "Hey, man," how many people could even say that at all, right?
How many people could say they play 2 sports in college?
Yeah, 3. I mean, I played even 3 at one year. They needed a ringer. And the crazy thing is with the championships. So I'm going to tell you this crazy story. I don't think maybe I did tell it. I'm not sure because my brain is so out of it. But we're playing against UC Davis. So the bus, now I just finished football season. It just finished. Football season overlapped with basketball season. I just finished football season. We're playing against UC Davis in basketball, and I missed the bus. The bus is taking us to UC Davis. It's probably like a 45-minute drive, whatever. It's by Sacramento. I don't know if you know the Bay Area, but UC Davis is a pretty good school. You should probably at least you heard of UC Davis. Yeah. They're D1 now. Mm-hmm. So what happened was the coach at the wrestling team said, "Hey man, how much do you weigh?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm like about." And by the way, when I did play football, I playing basketball, you're running more, right? It's a different type of. So I shed down to like 172 or something. And the guy's like, "Hey man, can you get to 167? I heard you used to wrestle." And as I wrestled a little bit, I wrestled once. He's like, "Hey man, all you got to do is shake the guy's hand." Do you know how wrestling works or no?
Yeah, somewhat.
Okay, if you forfeit, you lose 7 points.
Okay. If
you lose the match, you only lose like 2 points. Does that make sense? You know what I'm saying? Like, so better to go in there and lose than just forfeit. So the guy's like, "Man, can you make the weight?" And I'm like, "Fuck, man. Like, I love eating, I mean, I was on like a 10,000 calorie a fucking day. I was eating like crazy because food is free and everything's taken care of. So I got down to 167. I went in there and the coach was like, "Hey man, I just hope you could fucking, can you at least try to like," I was like, "Man, I don't fucking wrestle these guys. This is the fucking for the state championship in college, dude. You said shake his hand and go in there. So I'm gonna shake his hand and try to do what I can." I think I lasted like almost a minute until he pinned me, and I kind of felt like fuck. I don't know if you wrestle, it's crazy. Like a wrestling match is like boxing matches, 3 rounds, 3 minutes, right? That 3 minutes. You exert so much energy that you're literally out of gas. I could play fucking 4 20-minute fucking quarters. And, basketball is totally different. College is halves, right? I'm saying I could play 4 20-minute quarters before I can go and do it. Like wrestling it's crazy that, how much you exert yourself. And I kind of hurt myself. So I get second in state just for going and entering. And I have a certificate somewhere. Ben Yang, 167 pounds, second in state, NCAC conference. And so after that, I get in my car and I fucking fly up to UC Davis to go play the basketball game. I get pulled over for going 100. Back in the day, 100 was a big deal. Like cops will this cop pulled his gun out. He was tripping. And Magic Johnson had just got HIV. It's my favorite player of my entire life. So on my driver's license, I covered my picture and I put a picture of Magic Johnson over my license. Totally forgot I had that, just whatever. It was just something because I was such a big fan of his. So when I got pulled over, I gave him a license. It was a black cop. He's like, "What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this?" And I was like, "Oh my God, hey man, Johnson's my favorite player." Listen, I swear to God, there was no Google back then. Do you know what I mean? This is 1992 maybe. And I'm like, I swear to God, you could go and look at my gym bag. Got nothing in the car, whatever. Search me. I play basketball for San Francisco State University. I am driving to UC Davis because I missed the thing. And he was pretty cool, man. He just cussed me out, whatever, boom. He didn't give me a ticket. I get to UC Davis, my shoulder shirt, whatever, boom. And I remember I get in the game, and I'll never forget, I missed both free throws in that game. It was just like, it was a shitty fucking game. But that was like, one of the crazy stories.
So I read a coach gave you the nickname Ben Baller.
Yeah, Brian Fogel. I think he was I think he might have coached. He actually, funny thing is, Brian Fogel played with my old coach. Played with Steve Kerr at Arizona, and they're the same age, which is crazy, right? And he gave me my name in '92, Ben Baller, and just stuck with it. It was crazy.
What about why do you wear 42?
42 is so I was well, the crazy thing was there was a guy at my high school. His name was Willie Crawford. He wore number 24. So 24 was my favorite number as a freshman. I was like, damn, I want to be like this dude, Willie Crawford. This motherfucker's a beast. This dude is this guy was like, he was a huge running back, like Christian Okoye size. It was huge. And so I was 24. The crazy thing is 24 is a very significant number in my life now because it's my son's birthday. He was born at 24 and it was Kobe's number and boom. But this is so many years before Kobe because I'm older than Kobe, you know what I mean? Yeah. So what I did was I was a James Worthy fan, you know. I was actually a fan of James Worthy when he was at North Carolina, same time with Jordan was. Yeah. Then he went to the Lakers, he was 42. And it just stuck. I was 42 in you can see here, 42 in I'm wearing 42 years, shit. Yes. We're 42 in all through high school, all through college. So I was 42 all forever. That was it. And it just stuck with me.
Yeah, it's dope. I mean, it's crazy too. Obviously, you're a Dodgers fan, Jackie Robinson, all that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't think I even knew Jackie Robinson until probably, I mean, as far as 42, I didn't put the correlation together until maybe, bro, by the time I was fucking 30. Like year 2000, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. So would you say you grew up with a chip on your shoulder?
Yeah, man. Come on, bro. Oh, shit. I went with a fucking car on my shoulder, bro.
All right. So then take me. I know you always say you worked at Burger King, but take me through some other odd jobs you had.
Right before I worked at Burger King, I worked at Subway. And now the crazy part was, you ready for this? There was less than 12 Subways in the world.
That's crazy.
That's how long ago this was.
So it was in California? Because
yeah, but Subway was based. It was supposed to be about Subways, you know what I mean, like New York. But I don't think there was even a Subway sandwich in New York.
Yeah, no, it's based in Connecticut. It's right where I live.
Subway was the company was based in Connecticut?
No, headquarters is still here.
I know, but was the first one in Connecticut?
Yeah. The guy was from Connecticut.
So there was like a dozen in the country, yeah. And I think they're actually global now. They're like in Asia, whatever. Anyways, this was just one of the very few, and I worked at fucking Subway. And the funny thing is, there's things I'll never forget: how to cut bread, how to do certain things. And the funny thing was, I remember like the way that they cut bread now is not the actual way you're supposed to cut the bread. You know, you're supposed to cut it so that the sandwich really fits. Like the meat and everything will fit in so that the bread actually covers it. It's different. You know, people get a fucking sandwich like a foot long. They'll cut it right in half. Think of a loaf of bread. They'll cut it right in half, right? Yeah. You're supposed to cut on top and make like an oval cut. And I worked at fucking Subway. And the funny thing was at Subway, I got paid less than minimum wage. I don't know how the fuck that was legally possible. There was some kind of crazy stipulation. But I worked there and I hated it. I fucking hated it. The guy who owned Subway, his name is Reza. He was our neighbor that lived in the building I lived in with my brother. What else, man? I worked at a fucking martial arts supply store. I was a fucking personal assistant, you know what I'm saying? I was a PA. I don't know what else you want to hear. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. No, the Subway one is dope. My boy used to work at Subway. He used to get free subs all the time. It was dope. And then get sick of them.
Yeah, you don't get no free subs at Subway. I think if you worked an 8-hour shift, you got a foot long, and if you worked part-time, you got a 6-inch. That was it.
Yeah, that's hilarious. All right, so then take me through like how did you went from like music career to like jewelry and then the sneaker flipping? Like actually, like what was your biggest break? The sneaker?
I think the sneakers is what financially set me free. Do you know what I mean? It put me out of debt. There was no more like Like I owed like banks money. I owed like, I owed American Express like $2,000. I had fucked off maybe $800 here and there and whatever. And to tell you the truth, that was a lot of money to me back then. If you had like 20K in credit card debt and random shit and you owed it and never had any intention of paying it back and whatever, that could fuck your shit up, and I'm just not anywhere near in that situation ever. And, knock on wood. But, I was in debt for a lot of my time in the music career and everything. And I hated music so much. I just finally, I was a DJ as well. So thank God I had a DJ gig. And when I finally got out of music professionally, I stayed in DJing because it was something that I wanted to it was the only thing I loved. I love music so much. It was almost 50-50 with sports, Like if you would ask me, could I be an R&B singer or a rapper, or did I want to be fucking a player for the Lakers? Like I almost might want to be the rapper or whatever. It was also a lot more glamorous then. I know it's glorified more now, but if you really were good back then, there was more respect. There are, possibly over a couple million rappers now, There literally might have been maybe 10,000 rappers on the earth, and maybe in the game there was like maybe 100. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember when you would try to get a CD at a record store or get an album, and there might be less than like 30 albums out there. That's how old I am, seeing it come up. So like DJs always were cool, you know what I mean? Like there was never a DJ that didn't have good style, who wasn't dressed cool, because you're usually in an area where you're well seen and people are going to look at you, so you want to be cool. And it was like, I was wearing sneakers before people knew it was cool. It was something cool that I was in sneakers since, fucking 3rd, 4th, 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade. I had Jordans when they first came out. I was getting Jordans. I was working and do whatever I could to get Jordans. So that was something I always stuck with me. And there was a couple people that I know. Funny thing is, Andre 3000 and Big Boy, when they're at an Outcast, there was they had a Nike plug, and I don't remember his dude's name, man, but this guy was a Nike plug at the entertainment. He would give a shit. We would trade him for like CDs and records and stuff. And there was a few people who were in the game that were serious. One dude was named Dante Ross, who's a legend. He's still on social heavy. Another one was Fat Joe, of course. So Fat Joe's been around forever. I can't even tell you how fucking insane that Fat Joe, to remain relevant still to this day, is insane. Another guy named Kelly Wu, who worked in my office. And Missy Elliott was kind of one of the people that kind of pushed me on keeping my sneaker collection fresh. So, while I was DJing and I was out of the music business, I was kind of keeping the sneaker collection on the side. And then I started selling drugs. When I started selling drugs, I was able to make 5Gs, 6Gs, 10Gs here and then. I wasn't like heavy in it. I was under somebody who was like an underboss, and then there was the big boss under him. So the easiest thing for me to do to hide the money was buy shoes. So I had nothing to sit on, be like, oh man, you wasted your money. And like, oh, whatever. I never looked at it like an investment.
Right.
I just bought shoes. And, at a certain point in like 2002, I had over 500 pairs of shoes. It's a lot of shoes. If you really, really think about how many pairs 100 is. And now when I think about it, I'm like, damn, I'm like, I got down to 40 something, like 42 pairs, 40 pairs, like a year or two ago. And I was like, damn, this is crazy. Like I've never had this little amount of shoes, but it feels great. And then it's like, damn, I'd love to get down to 15 or 20. That'd be amazing. But, for the longest time I had 100. Even when I sold my entire collection, you still have shoes, right? And, when you get 500 pairs, you're like, God damn. Yeah. And at my peak, in 2004, I had 1,800 pairs of shoes, personals. So, I sold my shoe collection and I made money. I paid off any debt I ever had. I paid somebody to fix my credit. I bought a car. I had 2 motorcycles. I had 2 cars. I had a BMW 745, which was like the hottest car at the time. I remember, like, if you were a big dude in music or anything, you had one. I had one on 22s, crushing it. I had a Ferrari, you know what I mean? And I had a fucking Hayabusa motorcycle. I had a GSXR 1000. So I had 2 bikes, everything. I had a fresh crib. I had a condo in Beverly Hills. So, I had everything I wanted. And the only thing was, at the time, it was only the time I was ever engaged in my life. And I was engaged to a supermodel. And I cheated on the girl, and she had found out. It was so crazy that she knew that we had been so tight. She just knew, like, the energy. She was super spiritual and shit. She knew. And it was crazy. She was all the way in Germany, like, and she knew from a phone call.
So
I never admitted it to her. How crazy is that? You ready for that? I never admitted it to her. And it was just a fucking weird thing. And I became super depressed. So I remember, it's crazy. I don't really talk about that, but like, cause I don't really cry, you know, like I think the last time I really cried hard was like, besides each one of my kids' births, I can't think of the last time I really cried. Like, it was like, you know, like my boy's funeral, chemo, and that was like 16 years ago. Like I cried at a couple funerals early on, but I think I just seen so much of my life now. Like, it's just really, if I'm crying out of joy. And I was really depressed because I was like, yo, man, I thought I was gonna get married, man. I was such a douchebag. I got money, boom, I had to have no happiness. So that's when I went out and fucking went to go see the world. And when my mentor was like, yo, man, go, you know, the USA ain't shit. And I'm glad I learned that early, because people who, you know, never been out of the country, they really don't get, like, you don't become worldly or become like, again, people don't have the means to financially, but if you could, man, passport is so much more valuable than anything, you know, just going to see the world, even if it's like the most touristy places, just being there and smelling the fucking, you know, the air and feeling the vibe and experiencing, you know, interacting with different cultures and shit. You know, I came back more focused, and I was like, I need to figure something out.
Where'd you go?
I went to London, I went to south of France, I went to Paris, Monaco, Monte Carlo, Saint-Tropez. I went to Italy.
And what year was this?
2004.
Okay.
I went to Singapore, Hong Kong, Philippines, China, Japan, went to Australia. Went to a lot of places, man. Been to 30, no, I've been to 40 countries now, probably. And 40? Somewhere between that 35, 40 round. I have to sit and count. But came back more focused. And I came back like, all right, it's time to make some money. So I always have to, and no matter what I do, even like right now, I have side hustles.
Mhm.
I might sell old shit or whatever. I have money just laying around. There's always somewhere to make money for me.
Yeah.
And I had like a little exotic car business that I was doing. I was renting cars out to homies just to make money on the side. I had, you know, I had a good amount of liquid cash. So there were guys like that played for the Clippers and other teams locally, and they couldn't get, they would have like 1-year contracts or 2-year, 3-year contracts with options, whatever, not get re-signed. Go ahead and buy a fucking Rolls Royce and not be able to pay it. So I go back, oh, fuck, let me slide in and get this car. You paid 480 grand for it? All right, cool. I'll give you 250 grand for it. And at that point, I would go rent it out for like 3 G's a day. And the car would never be gone for, I would never actually have it in my garage for more than 7 days in a month. So if you do the math, you know, 23 or do 20 times 3,000, that's 60 grand right there. So even in 10 months, it's 600 grand, right? You've already bought the car twice.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's a lucrative business. So I was doing that on the side until I really figured out, like, all right, dude, what are we doing here? Figured I'd get into jewelry. And I became a jewelry salesman. I became a jewelry business owner and technically a jeweler. But I didn't become a jeweler, master-wise with my hands until like late 2009.
Okay. And then what made you want to be like an entrepreneur? Like when did you know like that you didn't want to work for nobody?
Shit. 97, 98 maybe. That doesn't mean you could be an entrepreneur. I mean, well, no, you can't. I was gonna say you could be a broke entrepreneur. I just knew I just wasn't gonna be able to work in an office anymore. I can't be in an office and on my behalf, because I'm a toxic person. So I think I go into places and I just don't like, you know what I mean? Some people just can't. Like, I had a hard time for people working under me. People work under me for a long time. I have employees that work for me now, and I keep it very light. But I think my personal assistant is the only person that's really with me on a regular basis. And I think he's gotten so good at understanding me after all these years that he just truly gets it. And he doesn't want to be anything else but just an extra hand to help, you know?
Yeah.
So, you know, I don't even think I might have fake thought I was a CEO, fake thought I was a boss and all these times when I was a VP of a label and all that shit. I don't think I really even became a real boss. Even when I was drinking lean and hanging out with my best friend Jonas and we were out buying shit and being stupid and still traveling and stuff, I don't think I truly became a real fucking like legit boss until maybe like in this decade, man. How crazy is that? And I was already,
I feel you.
I don't think I became like a real true entrepreneur, a true Renaissance man until this decade.
Do you like that word?
What?
Entrepreneur?
I mean, I don't mind it at all. I don't mind that word. Influencer, I don't like that word at all.
Yeah, no. Yeah, what made you want to start a podcast?
You know what? I didn't want to start a podcast. How funny! First time someone ever asked me, that's crazy. I don't think. I had done Michael Rappaport's podcast a couple times, and a friend of mine was an actor. He was on a TV show called How to Make it in America. He's been in a lot of movies before. His name is Brian Greenberg.
Mm-hmm.
I was just interested. What the fuck is a podcast? So he played me some shit. And I remember back then there was like, several hundred podcasts.
Yeah.
And now there's over 1 million.
Yeah.
I listened to a friend of mine, Austin Rivers, plays for now the Knicks, but he played for the Clippers at the time, and he jumped on a Michael Rappaport's podcast. So I was like, fuck it. Listen to it. It was pretty cool. I was like, oh man, I want to get on this guy's podcast. So I told my fans to hit up Mike, and boom, I get on there and end up being one of his biggest shows. I ended up coming back and doing it. I think I did his show twice or three times. And then I did I did the Combat Jack podcast, and he was one of the very first. Then I did Mike Tyson's and things. And then the Dust Brothers, Jordan and Miles, who produced Lightly Hearted, which is Josh Hart's podcast. Mm-hmm. They produced obviously Michael Rappaport's podcast. They reached out to me and said, hey man, do you want to do a podcast? I was like, I don't know, man. Look, dude, it's very simple. It's very low investment. I forgot what it said. It was like maybe like $1,300, $1,400 investment just to buy the main equipment that you need. We'll handle the rest. So I remember buying the equipment in May or June. I signed a contract with them. We did this deal, boom. And we didn't even launch until fucking August. It took 2 months of me looking at fucking podcast equipment. So, hey man, what's going on? This is Ben Baller, and you listen to. I didn't know what to say. And now, every time I'm like, you know what, this episode is going to be 30 minutes, 20 minutes, 25, 30 minutes. It ends up being a fucking hour. I end up having more to say than I think, So, here I am, and how many episodes do you have so far?
Over 100.
Right. So I'm at 137 episodes in a year and 2-3 months. And I've been consistent. I drop every Monday and Thursday. And it was just, man, I stayed with it.
No, and props to you, because doing it solo, like when you're talking to yourself, like I don't think I could do that. Yeah.
It's tough. And you know what the funny thing is? It becomes even harder. Because having a guest is fucking easy, bro.
Yeah.
And I know, but you know, to go and just talk solo on that ass, it's a trip, man.
Are you ever like recording by yourself, just by yourself, and you're like, yo, what the fuck am I saying? Like, right.
It happens every so often. I'm not gonna lie to you, like for real. It happens. I'll sometimes even be like, look at my notes. I'm like, what the fuck am I? Did I just? Who wants to listen to this shit? That's happened 3 or 4 times, dude.
All I know, I crack up like just your rants because I just think it's hilarious.
And I feel like I still haven't got my fucking dick wet. Pause. I feel like at 137 episodes, I feel like I have like 10 good ones.
Yeah.
But I feel like sometimes after I record, I'm like, damn, man, and these are edited, you know what I'm saying? There's things, but I mean, like, and again, I'm just so fucking busy, Like, I want to do this to return the favor for Coach Bean, but it's like, man, bro, I gotta lie to you. Like, I gotta be up at 6 a.m. And at 6 a.m, I gotta be somewhere at 7 to drop off my car. Boom. Then I gotta come back and my kids start Zoom. So it's like, I just don't get, I get anxiety thinking about it. It actually fucks with me.
It gives me anxiety when I listen to your podcast, listening to what you talk about.
It's a lot, bro. It's crazy. Man.
Yeah. Nah, I feel you. What about, is there any like guests that you really want to get on?
I mean, because I'm friends with Donald Trump Jr.'s serious girlfriend. Like, until she had brought it up, I didn't really care. But now, like, I'm like, fuck it. I would love to have Dick Stain Jr. on the show and talk to him. I'd love to talk to Barack.
Yeah. Like, is there anyone that you actually like don't know that you want to get on? Because I know, obviously you have all these
I
connections.
mean, Barack would be cool.
Have you met him before?
I've met Barack once. Yeah. I fucking made something for a security detail. I'd like to have Bill Gates on. I never even thought about that ever. Why not? I'd like to go up. I would like to ask him questions he probably never been fucking asked ever. I'd like to have all the you know, the big dudes who, you know, who are keeping all PC and shit. Zuckerberg, fucking Elon, whatever. Yeah, dude. I mean, I never actually, you know, like be like, oh, would you want to? Who do you have? Like, I mean, I don't know. You know, at the same time, like I get excited sometimes, but at the same time, like I'm excited to interview this guy, Washington Ho, who's gonna have his reality show debuts next Thursday on HBO Max, and you know, he's not like a big celebrity or anything. I'm just excited about it. But I mean, yeah, I don't know.
No, I like that all. I like all that.
I mean, yeah, you know, the obvious people, you know, I'd love to have LeBron on the show because I didn't like him for so long. And not that I like him now, but I mean, you know, just to be like, hey, man, fuck, you know, sure you don't give a fuck, but I didn't like you for a very long time and be an interesting interview, you know. I'm sure I could think of a bunch of people that I don't know, you know, but I don't know. At the same time, you know, like I'm not really seeking, right? You know what I'm saying? Like I had some friends reach out to Russell Wilson because obviously, but at the same time, I know it sounds crazy. He's so good and everything, whatever. And I also cuss him out a lot, but because he's so PC and he's so like such a good person, I don't think it just doesn't work. Like
I didn't even know he has a podcast too.
Russell does?
Yeah.
I don't know that. He was going to get on the show. And then I think again, you know, I might ask some questions that he didn't want to ask. So I think that would kind of be like, you know, against what he wants to do. And,
yeah. No,
but you know, like anybody who did, you know, like sports is cool, but like, look, like I got random people who no one ever heard of, like this girl Aria, who, you know, was a bottle waitress, a girl, boom, and she ended up, you know, becoming successful. I like people like that, you know.
You know what's crazy? I listened to the one you got O'Day's sister on, and the whole time I listened to it, and I didn't realize like who it was. Then you said O'Day, and my roommate is O lineman in high school with him. They played in New York.
Oh, yeah, in Brooklyn, yeah, that's dope. Yeah, O'Day trip.
That's why it was crazy. And
being behind the fucking bench and just telling us, "You fucking fat piece of shit, you fucking bitch, fuck you." And imagine this guy's like, he's just like, man, Jesus Christ. And then he turns around and sees it's me because he know, you know, I mean, he was a Seahawk.
Yeah.
He turned around. He was like, I remember he texted me so fucking fast, like literally, he must have just walked in the locker room and said, "Fuck you." But yeah, I mean, look, bro, like I would love to have just, you know, random ass people, successful people that haven't, you know, talked about, you know, when the last time they ate some pussy or something, you know, like I don't know.
Yeah, like one of the coolest I guess I ever had on was the founder of Starter.
Starter
brand.
Starter Jack, like Starter.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, cool. That's dope.
Yeah, because he's from New Haven, Connecticut.
That's dope.
Yeah, so that one's cool. Like just hearing his story and just like he threw the jacket to like the delivery guy and he got it to Joe Torre and Joe Torre wore it and then boom.
Oh, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I got a few more. Just I know you're.
Oh, yeah, bro, don't trip, man. Come on.
Going into the hobby. I know I've been like up and down because I know you were hyped at the beginning and now you kind of you're like, yeah. So what's?
Oh no, don't say that. I'm just, you know, it's you know, you're like, basketball has a lot of games in the season, right?
Yeah.
Was it 84, 82 games? What is it?
82, yeah.
And baseball has even more.
Yeah, 162.
It's a lot, bro. You know, it's yeah. I don't think anybody puts in the same work as I do. You know, I feel bad to say that, but I mean, you know, I'm really going out here pushing this shit heavy as a motherfucker. And I know I'm responsible for also a lot of its success. I have no problem saying that without any ego or nothing. You know, I've heard it. I've and because I've been told from very important people from the opposing companies, you know, and I don't need to say the exact names, but the companies that are rivaling tops in any kind of sports card business, you know, I've heard it from a lot of people like, hey man, this dude's really, you know, he's out here fucking moving units, whatever. for me to come in the fucking fourth quarter, in the third overtime, and that's where we are right now. I'm like, so everyone's burnt out.
Yeah.
For me to drop this Ken Griffey today and come gang bang hard, it says a lot, man. I'm not patting myself on the back either. I'm just saying right now, in the first hour of my Ken Griffey drop, I sold more than the almost every card did in the last 2 weeks prior to me in the whole print run. Than the first hour.
What's your projection on that one? Or that guy that always projects it? Did you ask him this time?
Well, I didn't ask him this time. I wonder what he thinks. I don't know. He's pretty good. I think that I think I'll break 10K.
Yeah,
it's like ridiculous.
Yeah, now.
Yeah, 10K.
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, that's why I was crazy at the beginning.
Gregory Siff just did 8,000 on a trout, and that's like one super low, but that's a really high print one right now. And I've been maintaining like right at around 5,000-6,000, which is like still 2-3 times more than
you sold the most so far, right?
Oh yeah, I'm beyond.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I think,
and plus you had the collab.
No, not even counting that.
Yeah.
I mean, if I counted that,
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Then I'm beyond. Yeah. But like, yeah, I think the second person behind me is like 100-something thousand, be like off. Like it's, I'm but no, I'm not about the hobby. I mean, bro, I'm excited. Like next year is going to be great. I can't wait to go to the national. Can't wait to really experience like the real hobby shit, like Gary Vee style, and get all that going. It's pretty cool.
When's the Ben Baller card coming out? Like of you?
Oh fuck, I don't know. Why would there be a card? I don't know. I mean, maybe I don't know. I haven't even.
Definitely going to be one.
I just think the Chrome card was already so big. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm sure there might be a Topps now. You know, they do Topps now, which is the current cards. Like,
yeah. No, they do the ones that like Gary Vee had his own one, like the National Treasure, I think.
Honestly, to tell you the truth, man, there's so many fucking cards out there.
No, they have like just all like famous people. I'm sure you're gonna get one.
I think that's Alex and Ginter.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. No, I'm not in there. I mean, I have no idea. Who knows?
Yeah, they're definitely gonna ask you. All right, what about top 3 defining business moments for you?
Fuck, man. As crazy as it sounds, I think number one has to clear and say just the pandemic. For me to be able to transition into the hobby, my BBDTC brand being not birthed, but baptized during the thing. And that includes all the gold money counters, the slides, the tees, and everything, the merch. I mean, I don't know, man. Is it fucking tacky to say what I end up doing this year? I mean, I don't know. Is it? You tell me. Mm-hmm. I'll let you decide. Is it tacky to say what I did financially this year, or do you think is that going to be offensive? Is that going to be?
Nah, because I kind of feel the same way. Because like when people say like they're doing bad or this year's shitty, and I'm just like I kind of killed it because I was already used to working from home, and people weren't, and I was kind of ahead of the curve.
I mean, bro, I'm probably going to be closing. I'm going to be closing somewhere near $20 million this year on the pandemic. So that's I'm with an enormous sports agency with XL Sports Management. They have everyone from the legends like Peyton Manning, Derek Jeter, and they had them when they were current. They have Tiger Woods currently still, and then they have everyone down to like Blake Griffin and Tyler Hero and all those people, and have in the top 20 in the draft. I think they had like 8 or 10 in the draft, and they have I can't even name how many people are at CJ McCollum. There's so many different stars. They have Kershaw and so many players in the baseball and football and everything. And XL Sports, when I signed on with XL Sports Management, I was in like the thousands. Like I was like maybe like 1,000 something in the earning list. In like April, June this year, like I was in the top fucking 50. This is NBA. Fucking, motherfuckers are making big money, but they weren't making any money because everything was stopped.
Yeah.
So that's it's a flex, but at the same time, I'm excited about it. So that's a big defining moment. I think, and it's crazy for me to say that above my but it's just because of the situation with the COVID. But me selling my sneaker collection definitely had to be an enormous moment right there. That was huge. That was a big business move for me because I became a millionaire.
Yeah.
And that was in the spring of 2004. And then somewhere in between, when we decided to make Icy Fresh into IF and Co. and make that into a real brand, and it globally flourished. And like we're like, you know, not just in the conversation, but at the, you know, at the top tier. That would probably be the third.
Yeah, that's dope. No, I mean, I don't know what the saying is, but it sounds like, you know, and it's like somebody has to come out winning, basically. It's people lose and people win. I mean, that's just life.
Right. But I look at partnerships and collabs. Like sometimes you can't do too many collabs, and some people should collab for us, and some people can't collab at all. And they'll whatever. If I can't give the company the same thing that they're giving me, or at least we both can't win, then there's just no point in us doing anything together. That's why I felt like, yo, man, like we got to both benefit from this, man. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, for sure. What about what advice would you give to a young entrepreneur?
An entrepreneur?
Yeah.
I mean, again, that term is, you know, it's I know that it's a wide spectrum, but at the same time, you know, entrepreneur. Now, again, look, man, you could be working, doing well, and not necessarily killing it. Like you could be making money in 4 or 5 different things. You could also be taking losses, which some big business people do. But you have these things that could potentially do very well, and you're quarterbacking them. You know, man, I'm really bad with advice. I think, you know, I would say like, you know, but, you know, save your fucking money, man, and, you know, invest in smart shit. I wish I'd invested in more shit, but I didn't have to, you know, because I made enough, so I didn't have to. Like, I think investing would be, it's smart, but at the same time, in a way, almost be greedy.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm trying to say to you? And like, of course, everyone's going to be out there making money regardless. And I'm not going to stop anybody, but I don't want to stop anybody from making money. But like, if I don't invest in Tesla now or Bitcoin or whatever, someone else will. That's good for them. Cool. And I want everyone to do well. I just, you know, man, I just don't really have, I'm not Gary Vee with that. You know, that's not really my thing, man. You know, I just feel like one thing for me is I think I speak to the Asian audience and I want them to understand like, yo, man, if I can make it, there's no fucking reason why you can't make it. Do you know how much of a fucking absolute dumb fuck I was and how much of a douchebag I was? And I was out in the streets and being silly and fucking up my life and fucking up in school and doing bad here and there. And I fucking finessed this way and that way. And I turned it around. You know what I mean? I ended up making you know, I made so many left turns that they end up turning into right turns, you know? So it's just, I don't really have like a lot of advice for these people, you know, like I was able to see things, you know, a mile away. And that was, you know, has that changed now? I don't know. I just, you know, I had Gary Vee on my show. I have Rich Kleiman on my show. His show drops this Thursday. He's a huge entrepreneur now. You know, Rich is killing it, not just in sports, but media and tech and everything. And both those guys said, I can't wait. I want to live to be 100. You know, I want to be working this. I was like, bro, like good. Like, I told Gary, I was like, God bless you, motherfucker. I'll retire tomorrow if I could. Like,
yeah.
I worked so fucking hard. I'm just over it. Like, I just want to be a dad, you know?
I hate politics, but that's why I don't understand. Like, if I'm like 77 and I'm rich, like, why would I want to go run for president? Like, I'm just trying to chill.
Yeah, I guess Joe Biden is rich, right? I guess, I mean, he paid. I mean, I think Joe Biden probably makes like $5 or $6 million a year at least, whatever. He's wealthy. And again, man, I don't fucking know. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm just saying, like, it's weird. I think it's weird. I think it's just a power trip thing.
Yeah, I mean, I have no desire being I would never.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I don't understand it. I don't know.
Well, it's funny you say that, man. I would love to have Kanye on the show because we're friends, and I would love to ask him the questions he would not want to answer. And because we're friends, I would make him answer. I'm like, no, especially we're in the same room.
Yeah, we
probably have to touch each other. I'm like, no, listen, no, what? What are you talking about? And security, they all know me. What are they gonna do? You sit there and you're gonna Brett me, motherfucker, I'll fuck you up. I'll shoot you in your house. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I would make them answer the questions, you know, like.
Yeah. All right, you ready for the average to savage question? These are just quick hitters.
Let's go.
All right, is there going to be a Ben Baller book or movie?
Man, I mean, that was the dream. That was the dream. I was like the pipe dream from like way before any of the podcasts or anything existed. You know,
I think
it had to be done like how the podcast was done. You know, like how Jordan and them approached me and stuff. I had an agent and we talked about the book, and they like discouraged me. It was weird, right? Like
Yeah.
they discouraged me from doing a book, and I was just like, I mean, ideally, I'd love to. It's a pipe dream. I'd love to, but I don't know.
No, I think you definitely need at least a book.
Right.
How don't you have a Wikipedia page?
I've actually asked about having one. I don't know. I think my agent will finally get it going. I just asked about it recently because I was like, all this fucking time, there's no wiki page. It's crazy.
Yeah. This is weird. What's your favorite fast food meal?
Oh, no, man. I guess Wingstop. Is that fast food? I don't know. Is that?
I don't know. I guess you count it.
It'd be Wingstop.
I never had a Wingstop. I don't think they have them around here.
I think it's either Wingstop or Popeyes, or you know what? It's a tie, dude. Wingstop, Popeyes, and fucking Chick-fil-A. It's between those three.
What about favorite car?
LaFerrari, man.
What about favorite song right now?
There's nothing new I can even think of. I just don't listen.
All right. What about you getting on TikTok or not?
No. I'm too old, man. It's just not me. My daughter she's a TikTok prince. She's the princess of TikTok. She's the queen of that shit. She loves TikTok. She goes crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. That's what I'll say.
I hate TikTok. Like I hate it.
All right. Are you still the best jeweler in the world?
I mean, that's a broad question again.
To you.
In the hip hop world, or like, in ever? No. Living? No. Like in Instagram and that shit that people like, that think it matters, whatever, like in that like the hip hop custom shit.
Yeah.
Oh, to me, it's like a joke, man. It's like if you had Kobe, Shaq, and LeBron all in their prime, combined in one person, playing against Steph Curry. Like it's just not good. I'm just way too far advanced, man. From those.
All right. Who's one person that you haven't made jewelry for that you would want to? Or you don't give a shit no more?
Yeah, I just don't. Honestly, to tell you the truth, I don't.
Yo, it's so I don't know. It's just funny. Oh man.
Look at my face, and can you see my face?
Yeah.
Like I don't care, bro. Like I don't know how much more, like, dude.
All right. What about? Okay, I know you're making all different kinds of stuff now. Is there anything that you want to make that you haven't had that you haven't made yet?
No. I'm just gonna make this shit because we have to make it. You know what I mean? Like I have some collabs coming up. Like even, dude, Justin Bieber hit me up the other day about something. And I just feel bad. Like I just don't want to make anybody shit anymore. Just.
No. I mean, like, no, you're coming out with like T-shirts and like the money counters and things like that. I'm saying, like, is there any like item that you want to come out with?
Oh no, I have like 6 more things coming out. Mm-hmm. When do you think this will air?
Like 2 weeks.
Oh, okay. 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I have at least 10 days. You think?
Yeah, because I got one. You're gonna be episode 130 or 112. I got 111 to go. So this week,
okay. I did an all gold mini fridge. It is fucking incredible. It's in the fucking other room, but I want to wait. It is fucking phenomenal. It is my greatest masterpiece. It's and the thing is, it's like, it's quality. It's beautiful. It's gonna fuck people up. So that's crazy. There's a, there's a few things I think contractually I'm not allowed to talk about, but major brands, I got a couple things coming out that I'm excited about.
That's dope. Is it? I know you mentioned like Burger King and Subway. Like, did you ever want to do a collab with them, or have you done?
Well, Burger King hit me up, man. They hit me up about doing something. It didn't end up working out.
Well, that'd be like full circle.
It would, but at the same time, I don't give a fuck, man. Unless you got a real big bag to do something cool, like I'm just like, if they were like, hey man, want your own meal? I don't know, like, like I'm more of a McDonald's person. I just didn't want to work there, Like Balvin, I knew about Balvin's collab before he did it, and then obviously Travis Scott and boom, that'd be great. That'd be cool if they did it. But I think at this point, man, it's like, fuck, like 2 huge stars did it. Like, why the fuck would you want to get the fucking band? I don't know.
Yeah. What's something people don't know about you?
Yeah, not that I have like, that I've fuck, man, that's crazy, right? Like I'm just trying to think like what maybe that I'm a loner, you know? I'm a real loner, dude. I love just being by myself, man. I go eat by myself a lot. Pre-COVID, I go see a movie by myself. Like I just like being like I really like my own personal time.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I feel you. All right, would you rather own the Seahawks, Dodgers, or Lakers?
I mean, to be honest with you, of course, I'd love to own the Lakers, you know what I mean? But it's just a different type of thing. I just feel like it's such a massive fucking brand. It's such like, you're talking about, if you grab the biggest sports teams in the USA, and of course they get bigger than just outside, but it's like, I thought Manchester United was small. I started doing fucking shoes for them. And so I realized they're actually bigger than the Lakers were, but as far as the USA goes, I mean, to me, I think they're the biggest. I mean, it's going to be a battle between them and the fucking Yankees, but I mean, it's close. I think Lakers are still maybe bigger. But yeah, for sure. But who would I like to work with? Just because there's like it's a weird thing with, I just feel like there's so much saturation with the Dodgers shit. There's so much saturation with the Lakers shit. I would love to work with the Seahawks more just because I feel like I have more potential there, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, they're like, I'd say like they're newer than them.
Right.
Last one, just like you. Do you have any questions for me?
All bullshit aside, like, what do you do besides podcasting? Like how do you generate an income besides podcasting?
Yeah, so I don't know if you remember, we went live during the pandemic. Did you remember that or no?
I'm sorry, dude.
No, it's all good. No, it's all good. No. So I do sports marketing, and I work with athletes, helping them build their brands off the field.
Oh, nice, man.
Yeah.
How old are you?
I'm 28.
You're 28?
Yeah.
Bro, with the beard and everything, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. You look like you're fucking 22, man. You look like you're fucking 19.
I'll take it.
You look like you live in a college dorm, man. You look, no offense, I'm just saying, you look very young.
Yeah, no, it's good. I'll take it. No,
right, so you're from New England, so obviously, I mean, are you a Patriots fan?
Hell no. I'm
Okay. Which
Dolphins.
I'm mad at that. Basketball then.
Nets.
The Nets?
Yeah.
Oh, good for you, man. And then for baseball, you Yankees?
Yeah, Yankees.
Okay, nice, man. Nice. Yeah, I don't know what else, man. And I hope I wasn't boring or anything. I just kind of gave you the most honest answers.
No, that was great.
Yeah, and I gave you all the time that you possibly could.
Yeah, no, I didn't want. I wanted to ask you. I mean, you were just answering long, so. But that's all good.
What? Is there another question? Go ahead and shoot it, dude.
Oh, I mean, the only other question that I didn't ask you was, how did having kids change your life?
Man, bro, I think that saved my life, not just changed my life. I think being responsible for a child, you start realizing that, well, it's not about you anymore, which is the obvious answer a lot of people say. But some people don't step up to the plate. It's a constant reminder that no matter how much you have, you might not have enough because you want to make sure that they're good. And at a certain point, when do you let go? Let them fly out of the nest and whatever. And that hasn't happened yet, but it's like, fuck, like at 8 years old, I was already walking the streets of fucking and being out, jumping on buses and going around. It's like, I could never imagine my son, he wouldn't even fucking know how to navigate. And it's kind of like, damn, we really have to groom him and make sure that he's, how he's looked upon in society and things. It's a difficult thing. It's a lot of stress. Having 2 is a whole nother thing. Having 3, now you're outnumbered with you and your spouse. It's just, it's changed me different. I think it's given me a lot more compassion. I think having a daughter also definitely, I went from being such a piece of shit, cocksucker, dickhead, motherfucker, to being maybe just a piece of shit, So like I took out the cocksucker and dickhead part. And maybe when she gets older, I might even take the piece of shit part out. But, providing is something that's a very important thing for me. So, it's helped me in many ways.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you coming on. This was amazing. I think one thing that celebrities and whatever famous people they should take from you, just answering your supporters on Twitter, just interacting with people more. I think that's what you do really well.
Oh, you think I do that well?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you the truth. I feel like I don't do it enough, but I do try to interact with people as much
way more than a lot of people.
Yeah. I mean, well, and that's dope. But like, again, man, I was not in a rush at all whatsoever. I'm just like fucking exhausted. I gotta be up early in the morning. But I appreciate you staying up late to do this, and I'm glad that we got it done, man.
Yeah, no, for sure.